I don't know about you, but I can never seem to get enough 3D printing content here on YouTube. No matter how much I watch, and I watch a lot, I always want more. Like all of you, I watch every video out there by CNC Kitchen, Maker's Muse, and 3D Printing Nerd, but for some reason, the YouTube algorithm still isn't able to supply me with enough to feed my addiction. That's why in this video, I'm going to share with you 10 of my favorite, newer, lesser known, smaller 3D printing channels so that you can get your fix, even while the war here in Israel has me unable to create my normal content for all of you. This is a list of the absolute best, most entertaining, and highest quality channels under 100,000 subscribers, carefully curated over my 2 years, and I don't even want to think about how many hours of binge watching. And considering that my own ability to create quality content consistently has been impacted, I figured what better time to expose you to some other content creators to check out in between my videos. Plus, considering that my friend 3D Print General, who used to do a segment called Underlove 3D Printing Channels, has been unjustly banned from YouTube, I figured that I'd pick up the mantle and keep doing this important work in his honor. Let's get after it. This list isn't really in any particular order, but I do want to immediately start off with my friend MandicReally, because his channel is actually one of my favorites out of all the different 3D printing YouTubers of any size. Now, I've said this before and I will say it again. I do not understand how Alan doesn't have over 100,000 subscribers. First of all, he has the most beautiful, cinematic, unique B-roll shots in the game. What's more, I love how he combines interesting and engaging projects, easy to follow storylines, and relatability to create project videos that keep me coming back again and again. If you're not subscribed to Alan's channel, make sure to do so in a new tab using the link in the description. And if you want to get to know the man behind the channel a bit more, you can also check out the podcast interview I did with him right here. Up next, let's talk about another channel that I absolutely love, and that is 247 Printing, or 24/7 Printing. Although Albert isn't a native English speaker like a lot of the folks on this list, that doesn't stop him from creating some of the most interesting, engaging, and impressive content out there. Now, what really sets Albert apart is that he's quite a skilled professional engineer, and he's capable of doing things like creating the world's fastest Voron 0.2, to name just one project. Now, Albert is one of the people at the forefront of pushing 3D printing to the absolute limits. So if you're interested in extremely fast 3D printers or the professional opinions of a skilled professional engineer when it comes to machine reviews, make sure to get his channel in your subscribe feed right now. Up next, we have another very, very experienced 3D printing content creator and overall 3D printing expert who is actually also a recent guest on the Infill podcast, and that's Taylor Sweet of YGK3D. Now, there are two things that really set Taylor and his content apart. First, he is one of the few folks who actually studied 3D printing in a higher education institution, and he has an advanced degree in it, as I found out during our podcast interview. Second, he has a ton of experience actually running his 3D printers commercially in his own successful 3D print farm and 3D printing services business of the same name. That means that when he reviews a machine like the Prusa XL5 tool changer, which by the way, he's one of the few people to already have, he's looking at it from a different angle than a content creator like myself, who's just a hobbyist using the machines for my personal projects and enjoyment. He's also covered other machines that are lesser known, such as the Troodon, which makes his content refreshing and unique if you sometimes feel like all the same brands are sending all the same printers to every single 3D printing content creator all at the same time. Now, Taylor has a lot of great insights about these machines and their reliability. He spends his entire day thinking about 3D printing at scale, so make sure to give his channel a look if that's something that you're interested in. This next one you've almost certainly heard of, especially if you're active on Twitch. I'm not, but fortunately, Loyal Moses has recently shifted more of his time and attention to YouTube, and I gotta say, he's crushing it. Loyal not only has a ton of experience running a print farm, but he's also a very experienced content creator and knows what audiences are looking for and struggling with. My favorites among his videos that he's been uploading have got to be the listicles and the common question genre of his videos because they pack in a ton of information and I always learn something new, even as someone who literally spends all day, every day, thinking and learning about 3D printing. Loyal really is a wealth of knowledge, and what's more, he's just a really wonderful human, like everyone on this list, so make sure to check out his YouTube channel in the description below. Up next, we have a channel who hasn't made it onto the podcast yet, but whom I've talked about a few times in past videos. That channel is Lost in Tech, a channel that's focused on educational tutorials, guides, and other edutainment content. Now, there are a couple of things I really like about this channel. First, I appreciate his dry, sarcastic British humor, and that's...
Which one of these do you think was printed with a resin printer? Well, actually, neither of them. You didn't see that coming, did you? I'm sure I had you fooled.
But on a more serious note, I have found that Losty, as I call him because he runs his channel anonymously, does a really good job doing citizen science and testing things out and then reporting back. Recently, he's done videos on air quality, which inspired my own forays into the topic, advanced support techniques, and more. And each time, he brings a level of thoroughness to his citizen science that really sets his video apart from other channels of this size. Oh, and his software guides and tutorials are great. So make sure to check him out, and also make sure to spam the comments of his videos telling him that he really needs to appear on the Infill podcast. Speaking of thanks, really quickly before we get to the rest of my list, I do have to take a quick moment to thank Sovol for sponsoring this video. You guys have heard me talk about Sovol a lot before, so you know that I personally love their products. First of all, they offer the SV07 and SV07 Plus, which are extremely affordable, reliable ways to get into 3D printing or just upgrade to a higher speed 3D printer than you currently have, given that they run Clipper right out of the box. Now, I run these printers a lot in my own workshop and print farm, and I've never had a single problem with either of them, which is saying a lot because I break a lot of printers. They are a lot less finicky and require less maintenance than many of my printers that cost 3 times as much, and they deliver similar quality and speed. What's more, Sovol also has their own line of high-quality 3D printing filament, which is affordable, reliable, and even ships with cardboard spools. So to check out Sovol products and to save $10 off your order of $259 or more, visit the link in the description. Thanks again to Sovol for making this video possible. You might have noticed that a lot of the channels on this list, such as myself, MandicReally, and a few more, are actually trying to reduce the number of 3D printer reviews we do. This is partly because doing them properly generally takes a ton of time. But beyond that, generally speaking, review videos actually lose money because they only appeal to the people considering buying that printer, and many sponsors are not interested in sponsoring a review of someone else's product. Makes it really hard to even break even. But that's a really big problem because the community still needs high quality, unbiased reviews of new printers. Fortunately, the 3D printing community has an incredibly valuable contributor by the name of Aurora Tech channel. Aurora is a young woman from Danville, California, who, along with her brother, publishes some of the most thorough, objective, and informative maker reviews online, hands down. Whether it's a massive laser, a low-budget CNC printer, or a state-of-the-art industrial machine, Aurora lays out the facts and results of her very rigorous testing with a no-nonsense approach. Aurora is a reminder that we should never assume someone's experience or skill level just from their age, because this young lady knows her stuff. And I often watch her reviews to see how good of a job I did conveying the experience of a machine in my own review. If she and I came to the same conclusion, as we often do, then I know I did a pretty good job. So if you like product reviews, make sure to give Aurora a sub using the link in the description. Recently, Play Conveyor began popping up in my shorts feed, and I gotta say, this guy is crushing it. His YouTube Shorts content lands somewhere between JJ Schenkel's and Unnecessary Inventions, which I think he's probably been inspired by. He produces super high quality, entertaining content that heavily features 3 of my favorite things about this hobby: problem solving, creative design, and functional prints. And I'm excited to see that he's also putting out occasional long form content as well. Here, once again, I enjoy the whimsical humor, and this is another channel you definitely don't want to miss, and you probably want to guilt into showing up on the podcast. Up next, if you are interested in Vorons and other build-it-yourself printers, you definitely don't want to miss Maple Leaf Makers. Yes, their content is a little bit more niche than other channels on this list, featuring almost exclusively Voron-related mods and projects. But when it comes to incredibly clear, thoughtful, and informative explanations on these types of products or assembly processes, Maple Leaf Makers puts out some of the absolute, hands-down, best content for this sub-niche. Okay, technically this next channel is even bigger than mine, but in case some of you don't already know about it, I do definitely want to give a shout out to Jan Schoen, or Jan Schoen, of Proper Printing. Jan is definitely the mad scientist of 3D printing content creators, specializing in all sorts of crazy 3D printing projects that really push the boundaries of what we know to be possible. FDM printing with resin, 3D printed wheels, 3D printing gantries. His projects aren't always practical, but they're always entertaining and educational. I love that while Jon's content is super polished and high quality, he doesn't try to hide the failures or the speed bumps that get in the way. I really look to Jon as a role model for creativity and technical skills in realizing his visions, and watching his channel is an important reminder that if you don't fail, you're not being ambitious enough. Make sure to check it out. Up next, we have another past guest on the Infill podcast, and that's Jerry from The Print House. Jerry has been putting out increasingly high-quality content, despite the fact that he's limited by a tiny recording studio and a full-time job for the time being. And I love his content. It's engaging with multiple camera angles, funny cameos, and high-quality B-roll. Jerry is another one of the channels on this list that I literally can't understand why they don't have 100K subscribers. But he doesn't, so hit the link in the description if you agree, and let's right that wrong. So there you have it, 9 of my favorite lesser-known YouTube channels that every one of you should know about. I hope you guys enjoy them and that this list keeps you entertained and occupied until my kids' daycare is fully reopened and rockets stop flying overhead so that I can fully get back into the swing of creating regular content. If I left someone off this list, I would love to hear in the comments below. Who are your favorite lesser-known 3D printing content creators? Let's start a discussion in the chat so that we can all discover those channels and binge their content. And hey, I really want to thank you guys again for watching this video and helping me keep this channel alive during what is definitely not an easy time for myself, my family, or anyone in this part of the world. And a special thank you as well to my Patreon supporters and YouTube members. You guys rock. That's all for this week, but I'll see all of you on the next layer.